going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today, as voted on by you guys, we are continuing the realistic rebuild series with the Atlanta Falcons. This was posed on a Twitter poll on my Twitter at PapaXC4. If you're not following that, go check the links in the description and follow me up. But I posed a bunch of questions about, it's about time. About time we get back into the realistic rebuilds here. We have about enough teams that will be evenly paced until really we start to rev up for the Madden 21 cycle, which is ideal. I do need to announce, though, if you are keeping track at home of the 32 teams and you're waiting for it, there are 4 teams that I did cross off today on my little Excel sheet that I keep track of everything, and I keep track of like who I draft and who I sign in free agency. The Redskins, because we've done a Chase Young rebuild. The Dolphins, because we've done a Tua rebuild. The Chargers, because we've done a Justin Herbert rebuild. And the Packers, because we've done a Jordan Love rebuild. Those 4 teams have been crossed off the list as well, as if they've been completed for the realistic rebuilds. So keep that in mind as I asked you guys to suggest in the comments what team you want to see next after the Atlanta Falcons. This is a 10-year rebuild, though, so we'll have part 1 today. Part 2 will be coming out to you guys on Saturday. But the remaining teams outside of the Falcons, we have the Vikings, Rams, Giants, Colts, Saints, Cowboys, Bucks, Titans, Panthers, Steelers, Chiefs, Jets, Seahawks, Niners, and Ravens. Obviously, there's a lot of teams in there that don't need rebuilds, but when you put it in the scope of 10 years, things make it a little bit more interesting. But here we are with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the tough thing is, how and where do we use our starting point? Because I could just, through a mod, pretty much essentially have the Madden 21 rosters and go with the real rookies. And we're here with Atlanta. We'd have AJ Terrell and stuff like that. But I feel like, obviously I don't want to just run through all that stuff. And then when we get to Madden 21, it's like, oh, well, we've already kind of rebuilt, for example, the Falcons with AJ Terrell and all those guys. So what we're going to be doing for the remaining teams, I think we're going to start at this point. We'll go through their free agency moves. So here for the Atlanta Falcons, I did sim through the first season. We have Todd Gurley on the squad. We got Hayden Hurst on the squad. Defensively, Dante Fowler at defensive end. I think that's really all they bought in really as far as money free agents. But we're going to start the draft over. So we're not going to go with the surprise AJ Terrell pick. I mean, maybe we will. But, for all these remaining teams that didn't get unreal, wow, ridiculous players in the first round, rebuild around type players in the first round, we're probably going to try to change it up, make it a little bit different. When we do Dallas, if CD Lamb is still there, I might pull the trigger on a CD Lamb. If we do Carolina, I might pull a trigger on a Derek Brown if he's still there. But generally speaking, this will be the starting point for the remainder of the realistic rebuild. So it is updated in a way because we do have their free agency moves, but we can kind of go in a different direction from the 2020 NFL draft, and that's kind of how we're going to spiral this rebuild out of control. So I did sim this year, so we actually won the division. This doesn't count. We're doing 5 years. We're doing 5 additional years, but to get to the draft, we actually played very, very well. I think in terms of dev traits, I did actually, Matt Ryan did earn a superstar X Factor, but because it's a sim year, I knocked him back down to a superstar. But to keep it a little bit, we got Gage. Gage got a dev trait as the 3rd wide receiver. I'll keep that as is. I think that's the only dev trait growth that we had on this team. So, generally, as we enter this draft, when we look at the Atlanta Falcons, there is a reason why people want me to rebuild them, because Matt Ryan, he's getting to the end of his career here. Very expensive contract to work around. But who's going to be the successor? We did the Atlanta Falcons, just a normal rebuild, and it was Justin Fields. We probably won't be getting a quarterback that soon, but definitely keep an eye on there. They have Todd Gurley. Luckily in Madden, they don't have the arthritis in the knee. He's going to be a beast for us. Definitely an upgrade over Devontae Freeman. Ito Smith's a nice RB2. Julio Jones, one of the best wide receivers, one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL, if not the most talented. But he's 31. Always get up there in age a little bit. Calvin Ridley. Hey, we might have something here in Russell Gage as he did sneak in a little bit of a dev trait. And then there's classic Madden signing 9 goddamn wide receivers to almost $1 million contracts each. I will have to dump those guys sooner than later just because, hey, I simmed it, and that was my practice squad. Please fix that for Madden 21. Tight end, we have Hayden Hurst. They let a really talented Austin Hooper go in free agency. They traded pretty big assets to get Hayden Hurst. He is 27. He does have. Did he actually go up in dev traits? He did. He made the Pro Bowl in this sim year, but it's going to be interesting to see if they can salvage his career. Offensive line is okay. Alex Mack is good, but he's getting up there in age. Matthews is solid, but he's 28. But Lindstrom, that right-hand side, Lindstrom and McGarry, 2 first-round picks. We definitely want these guys to develop into long-term starters here. Obviously, Lindstrom, 75, has a star dev. He's well on his way. McGarry, a little bit more of a surprising first-round selection when they get him out of Washington. It's going to take a little bit more to grow and develop him, but we will try to do so. Defensively, I love the move to get Dante Fowler. I think he's going to be a beast in Dan Quinn's scheme. Tack McKinley here, trying to prove, and live up to that first-round billing. Grady Jarrett's a monster inside of D tackle. Linebacking core, Deion Jones, one of my favorite linebackers in the NFL. Olukun's solid. We're actually going to move him to be the left linebacker because the right in this scheme is like your rusher. Maybe left might be a little bit more favorable, which it is. Look, here we go. Just made him a scheme fit. So we definitely need a linebacker. That might be our first pick. If a Kenneth Murray is still there or Patrick Queen is still there, we might be looking at bringing in a linebacker here. In the secondary, I moved Ricardo Allen from safety to be our slot corner. Sheffield and Isaiah Oliver are going to be hopefully our long-term developmental outside corners. KZ and Keanu Neal, thank God we have injuries off for Keanu Neal's sake, make up a really good safety pairing. And you have the best onside kicker maybe in the NFL here in Young Ho Koo as our kicker. So right in the draft, we have a first and third round pick. I believe they traded... I can't remember what they traded for Hayden Hurst, but I did it. So I don't know if it was a second and a fifth, I believe, is what they traded. That's a lot to give up for Hayden Hurst, but here we are. So let's enter the 2020 draft knowing that, maybe if a quarterback slips, we could look at a QB. We could look at a third wide receiver potentially. We could look at a guard. We could look at an Alex Mack replacement at center. In real life, they got Matt Hennessy at a Temple. We could look for a D tackle, but if we had to find the one singular most important spot, I want to bring in a linebacker. So that is going to be my direction for the 2020 draft. Let's get into it. So taking a look how I would have drafted, given where our team is at for the Atlanta Falcons in the first round, we got Patrick Queen, 73 overall, hidden dev trait, middle linebacker out of LSU, coming on fresh off a national championship, pass cover starter, 20. It's good. Debatably best linebacker in the class. I kind of pulled Atlanta. I stuck with the center spot. They went Matt Hennessy in real life. He was not on the board, but I got Laurie Cushenberry again from LSU to be groomed to be the successor for Alex Mack. I got Van Jefferson. I got to be Dan Quinn in a little bit. He always gets some Gators. So I got Van Jefferson in there to come compete for wide receiver 3 with Russell Gage. We got the best punter here, Braden Mann, 76 overall in the 6th round. And then we finish it up here with Logan Wilson, more linebacking depth out of Wyoming, 66 overall. That's great value in the 7th round. But Patrick Queen, day 1 starter. Patrick Queen, Olukun, Deion Jones. That's as good of cover linebacker trio as you could ask for in Madden. We are starting year 1 of the realistic rebuild here for the Atlanta Falcons. We're an 84 overall team. This definitely is a team that can win right now. It's the 4 years from now when Ryan and we had to deal with Gurley and Julio Jones, the big names. But here's where our team is at. I'm actually going to take Lloyd Cushenberry, we drafted to be the successor to Mack. We're actually going to put him at left guard so we can get some valuable snaps as a rookie. No real change to the offense. I will actually make Van Jefferson our starting slot wide receiver over Gage, which maybe isn't fair for Gage. What did he do last year? I mean, it's a hypothetical sim, but that's actually a pretty good numbers in the slot for him. But it's just good depth at this point. Defensively, our linebacking core, okay, not exactly what we want. We want Patrick Queen to be playing outside linebacker, Deion Jones, Olukun, Tack McKinley, Grady Jarrett, Davidson, and Dante Fowler on the D-line. Allen, Oliver, and Sheffield will be our secondary. Our specialist, we'll put Ricardo Allen in the slot, Van Jefferson in the slot. Gurley will be all those guys. I'm feeling good. I mean, the only debate would be, do we put Patrick Queen at sub linebacker so we can get that development? I'd rather get Deion Jones off that star, get him at least to a superstar, which is where he probably should be. But definitely a win now, not an all-out rebuild year for year 1 of the Atlanta Falcons realistic rebuild. We had a really early bye here in year 1, so we're chilling at 0-3 after winning the division last year. Even though I don't want to refer to that because it'll get confusing. But it's not a great start here for Atlanta. 0-3. Dan Quinn's already a coach on the hot seat. We do have coach firing on. So I don't know if this is going to be like the shortest rebuild of all time. Maybe it'll give us the benefit of the doubt here in year 1. The firing system is hit or miss. It's definitely very hit or miss. Looking at contracts out the rip here. First up, we got Keanu Neal. Definitely want him here for long term. Alex Mack, 1-year deal. What are the odds Cushenberry's ready to go? we might have to throw him to the Wolves sooner than later. For the rest of our free agents here, really, yeah, it comes down to KZ and Takk McKinley. I want to see what they do, honestly. Week 7 and Week 9, we'll reevaluate that. If Tack's on pace for double-digit sacks, we'll definitely give him a new deal. If KZ's playing very, very well, safeties tend to go up in dev trade. He is productive. So, and that's a really reasonable deal. I'm probably going to be more inclined at this point to pay KZ that versus Takk McKinley. So we're going to wait and see with Takk, and we'll probably give one more contract for Alex Mack. And then if not, there's a reason why our second highest pick was a center in the draft. At the end of year 1, we lost our last 3 games, which I assume, cost us making the playoffs and winning the NFC South. I'm going to be very interested to see how Matt Ryan played, because I think he got 4 Offensive Player of the Week awards. I think Falcons are a very cheesy team in the sim. Matt Ryan, he's going up dev trait. He's going to be a superstar X Factor next season. He's playing very, very well in the sim. He earned an X Factor last year, but last year didn't exist. Here in year 1, I think he got another X Factor. Man, he was sensational. 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns. We got almost 1,300 yards, 12 tutties for Todd Gurley. Julio Jones, 100 catches, 13. I love it when wide receiver 1s play like wide receiver 1s in the sim. How many times have we done a sim and you see Odell, you see Michael Thomas, you see all these guys just not putting up big numbers in the sim? I hate it. So thank God Julio played well. Great year from Ridley. Hayden Hurst, really solid. Todd Gurley, I mean, that's Todd Gurley getting back to Todd Gurley form. Almost 1,800 yards. What do you got for tutties? 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns. Unreal. 100 yards and a touchdown essentially a game. And even a little bit more than that. Deion Jones, 100 tackles for the rookie. Patrick Queen, 6 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, 2 picks. Probably defensive rookie of the year. 13.5 sacks, 18 TFLs with Grady Jarrett. Monster. Dante Fowler, big year. Takk McKinley did not do enough to earn himself a new contract. We don't have the money anyways. Same with KZ. Not good enough to earn himself a new contract. We're going to be kind of doing a little bit of budgeting on the defensive side of the ball. Baker Mayfield is your MVP. Matt Ryan coming in second in touchdowns, or second in yards, 4th in touchdowns, only coming in number 10. Very suspect. Offensive Player of the Year went to Jameis Winston. Matt Ryan coming in at 5. Gurley at 10. Defense Player of the Year went to Eric Kendricks. Grady Jarrett at 5. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to CeeDee Lamb, who's now on the Detroit Lions. Van Jefferson runner-up at number 2. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is our boy, Patrick Queen. I like going through this to see if anyone actually got drafted by the team they actually got drafted by, and I'm not seeing it. For individual awards, I don't know if we had much outside of Julio winning wide receiver. Grady Jarrett winning D lineman. That'd be huge if he can get himself an X Factor. We might have some dev traits here. We didn't make the playoffs, but the individual success was sensational, and maybe we could sneak in a couple dev traits here before we get into the offseason. Going into free agency here, there's a reason why we couldn't even fathom to extend Takk McKinley or KZ, because we already are minus 12 in the red. Let's see what we can do to get in the green here. Get some breathing room. So there are some easy cap casualties here. First up, Ricardo Allen frees about $4 million. I know we got a couple hogs there on the O-line. For sure. Grady Jarrett's worth the money. Davidson's worth the money. Where's he at? Mac. I mean, we just re-signed him, but we probably shouldn't have done that. But we got Jamon Brown here. That's just, get out of here. Horrendous. $6 million. Carpenter, we're not going to free up a whole lot, but a depth lineman freeing up another $2 million. Sam Breo, that's a horrible deal. I mean, some awful deals here on that Atlanta Falcon offensive line. Outside of that, I mean, look at that. Goddamn Sim, man. I got like $7 million worth of depth. Wow. Okay, we'll get rid of those guys. We might have the money to sign one free agent. From our first draft, after really a horrible offseason where we couldn't spend any money, here is how we drafted. I traded out a lot. It was not a particularly strong draft. We got depth in Stuber, 65 normal, and a 68 fullback. With our 2 picks, we got Paul Mumphrey, 70 normal, corner from Kentucky. Not a brutal corner, solid, good athlete. Add some depth to the room. And the big pick here, we needed a new starting free safety, losing KZ. And we decided to go with Solomon Swift, the safety from Vandy, 73, scheme fit, hidden dev trait. Really, really solid looking athlete. Great tackler. Debatably could be a strong safety with the tackling pursuit and hit power there. But looks going to be a great fit for the team. We picked him. I always like seeing, because there was 2 other players on the board that I was heavily considering. Let's see. When we made our pick, he went here. We were also considering at this point Where are they at? It was a corner. Russell Norman from Florida. I was going to go Gator bias, and we're ahead of there. He's only 5'9". He was a scheme fit, but I want an outside corner, so I'd rather our player than that. And there was a wide receiver that went a little bit, or a defensive end, sorry, that went a little bit later than that. And I think it was, where is he at? It was something Favors. Oh, he's right there. Damian Favors went to Virginia Tech. He is a 73 normal. So we got the dev trait. We got, the rating 73, 73. We got as well, I think he was a 73. And we got the lone dev trait. For very rarely, the last couple rebuilds, I've made the right pick when I've had a couple options to choose from. So big things expected for Solomon Swift here as he enters his rookie year 2 of the Atlanta Falcons realistic rebuild. So year 2 for the Atlanta Falcons, and we have regressed 3 points down to an 81 overall. I have my doubts that it's the quarterback. Even though he's gone up to his superstar X Factor, Matt Ryan has regressed pretty badly. He's now a 78 overall. I'm kind of hoping it's like when we did the Detroit Lions rebuild and Stafford played really well. Didn't really matter what his overall was. He just played well in the sim. Offensively, not a lot of changes across the board. We'll make Cushenberry the guard yet again as we ride. Probably Alex Max is going to be his last season. Want to see McGarry take another big step up there in his development. We got Hayden Hurst playing on his 5th-year option. I think he deserved it. He was really, really solid statistically. When you look at the defense here, a dev trait, I believe, was earned for Keanu Neal. I don't think he was always superstar, which he did, as well as Grady Jarrett, one of our superstar after a sensational season. On the defense, we'll go Kaminsky. We'll go the young guy here at defensive end. Sheffield and Isaiah Oliver at corner. Swift, our first-round pick, will be starting at free safety along with Queen. That is just a really good linebacking core there. So optimism is high that we can bounce back, not lose 3 in a row, and win the title this year, because we don't know how many more years we're going to have of the Matt Ryan, Julio Jones connection. Kind of good news early on in the season. Van Jefferson, our starting slot, got 100 yards, got himself a brand new star dev, 5,000 XP. Nice. The bye in year 2, we got a nice little dev trait scenario here for, not sure, could be actually Van Jefferson yet again. It is. Very unlikely he gets that. I get those probably 1 in 20. But contracts. So this is about time. We're probably going to have to move on from Alex Mack given how bad our salary cap situation is. Really, all these guys are tough to re-sign. Isaiah Oliver would be the biggest one. Let's say we'll give him a 5-year deal, $2.3 million cap. It's not bad. I like Olukun. That's just a lot of money for a guy that's... I mean, it's not that much money, but he's 20. Like, how much better is he going to get? It's different. Sometimes he's a guy that just, whatever reason your sim goes off on dev traits, letter superstars, stuff like that. He's just not getting those kind of reps right now. Yeah, we're gonna have to be a little bit frugal here, given how bad our salary cap situation is, while we have the massive Matt Ryan, the massive Julio Jones contracts on the books. So we got Isaiah Oliver signed. Everyone else, best of luck in your future endeavors. And at the end of the season, Matt Ryan gets like his, I'm not even exaggerating, like last season, 6 or 7 NFC Offensive Player of the Weeks. I mean, that's not a huge game, but still, like, it seemed like every single time it was like 300-400 yards, 3 to 5 touchdowns. I didn't know Atlanta was an OP team, honestly, in the sim. I don't think, I'm trying to get the corners to try to be scheme fits here. Everyone else, I'm just auto-spending their, everyone else is already a scheme fit, which is good. A lot of the legwork has been done. So we won the division, 13-3, our first divisional title of the rebuild. So let's add that in the old Excel sheet there. I think Matt Ryan's got an insane year. There you go. First in yards. Last year, he was second in yards, 4th in touchdowns. Here we go. First in with almost 5,400. Is that breaking a record? That's second to Peyton Manning. 45 touchdowns. So, like, I mean, passing yards. I mean, didn't he already make it 1 year? Either way, that's second all-time, third all-time single season record. And for touchdowns, makes that top 10. I mean, how does that compare? I assume he's probably going to win MVP. Maybe not, though. Madden Sim's weird. What was the year he won MVP at? He won it was that the year, right? 2016. He won it with 38-7, almost 5,000 yards. He has over 5,000 yards, 45-11. Man, Matt, look at that, man. He has been a monster. Everything, this is just it all coming together. How is he 78, man? They got to fix QB regressions. Matt Ryan should be 95, But because Madden won't let you have things like Drew Brees and Tom Brady in your Sims, here we are. But at least he's still playing one. I don't give a rat's. I don't give a rat's what his base overall is. You keep playing well like this, you're fending off us drafting a quarterback. Early, at least anyway, with that first round pick. Matt Ryan, amazing. Run game has been on point. Todd Gurley, 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. We had 98 catches, 1,400 yards, 15 for Julio, 11 and 5 for Ridley, 1,008 for Jefferson, 960 and 8 for Hayden Hurst. It's firing on all cylinders, baby. 135 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 picks. Hopefully that's a dev trade upgrade for Deion Jones. Patrick Queen has been sensational. Keanu Neal over 100 tackles, 3 picks. Isaiah Oliver, 9.5 sacks. Gritty Jarrett, 8 from Fowler. Acceptable numbers. Your MVP is Matt Ryan, rightfully so. He is amazing, and I did not know that he would be this good. I don't think he was this good the last time we did a rebuild. Tell you that for sure. Did we get Coach of the Year? We sure did. Dan Quinn's job security through the roof. Offensive Player of the Year went to Matt Ryan. Defensive Player of the Year went to Roquan Smith. Deion Jones, runner-up. Patrick Queen coming in at number 7. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year? Do we have anything? No. What was our pick? Oh, it was Solomon Swift. Matt Ryan's your best quarterback. Best wide receivers, Julio Jones. Like my team, man. I'm happy where my team's at. We got a first-round bye here in year 2. We're kicking off the playoffs against the 10-6 Packers. Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan. Let's get it. All right, let's put it together, man. In the sim, you're unstoppable. Should be the same against the Green Bay Packers. I know they got Jair Alexander. He's pretty good at locking guys down. I don't think he stands a chance in hell against Julio Jones. Defense is doing okay, but again, number 1 offense, MVP. Took us a whole first half to get a touchdown. It's not looking good, fellas. Down 10. It's over. Down 17. We're just, I don't know. We scored all our points. It's like skill-based matchmaking. We already got our good games out of the way. Now it's time that they're adding the skill to match us. That's disgusting. That is disgusting from Matt Ryan. Congrats on the MVP, though, I guess. Kind of an interesting phrase up here. There are the familiar names there. There are some interesting names, even though Matt Ryan won the MVP and has regressed down to a 73 overall. We don't have a whole lot of money because Davenport and Landry are both 2 guys I think would be great for that rush linebacker spot for us. Unfortunately, we don't have that, so I'm going to bring in another corner. Josh Jackson, 26, star dev, formerly of the Green Bay Packers. I think a good change of scenery can help him out, and he will complement the pretty much in prime secondary we have right now with Isaiah Oliver and Sheffield, both star dev corners. At our draft class, I like it. I think we had a pretty solid draft here. As you can see, the ratings are all looking above 65-ish, which is where you want. In the 4th round here, we get a 66 hidden dev. We get a 72 normal. We get a 66 hidden dev lineman, Tanner. 68 tackle. As you can see, the successor potentially has been drafted, Jason Poole, out of Oregon, 73 hidden dev. This guy's a great athlete. Look at that, 88 speed, 89 acceleration, 89 agility, 91 throw power, the throw on the run, the short accuracy. Like, this guy here is very, very intriguing. I'm going to be interested to see what that dev trait is. And we got the number 3 player in the draft. We needed a guard because Cushenberry is going to be moving from guard to center to take over Alex Mack. And we have the number 3 player in the draft, 78 normal dev, Quandre Trapp from Vandy. Agile scheme fit. Made the most sense. And while the dev trait, you'd love that to be literally anything except a normal because linemen don't go up in dev traits. He's still going to be a really, really good player for this offensive line. Year 3 for the Atlanta Falcons, and this is showing everything about what's wrong with the regression in Madden. As your reigning defending MVP, Matt Ryan has regressed down to a 74 overall. He's tied with the eventual successor, but we're not going to not play Matt Ryan. Julio has regressed a lot as well. He's down sub 90 overall. A little bit worrying. Offensive line, though, is coming along nicely. I did not pick up the 5th-year option on McGarry. I did on Lindstrom. Hurst has been solid, but again, he's hitting that point too. 29 up there in age just a little bit. So you're looking at youth. Calvin Ridley's kind of old. Old. Calvin Ridley is in terms of our skill position. What's Gurley? 28? Yeah, it's an old offense. There's no other way to put it. Generally speaking, it's an older offense. The defense has a little bit more youth to it. Swift came out. We drafted him. Superstar dev right out the gate. sensational. Oh, actually, you know, he earned it. He earned it with his production last season. So that's unreal, pairing that with Neal. Clinton, the mid-round pick. I'm actually going to move him to linebacker because he does have that hidden dev trait over Logan Wilson. So it's best to get those rookie snaps in. Deion Jones up to a superstar dev. Jackson is our big get in free agency, really completing the secondary with Sheffield and Isaiah Oliver. Yeah, I like it, man. I like the team. Definitely should be playoff bound yet again, but who knows? Who knows how 74 overall Matt Ryan's going to play as he looks to defend his MVP title. Over the bye, it's, you know, the wheels have fallen off here. 2-5. I have enough respect for Matt Ryan that this is going to be his last year. I'll burn the whole year just so he gets his last little hurrah, because clearly Poole is, you know, if this was a 5-year rebuild, we'd go to Poole right away, but I had the decency to give Matt Ryan one more full year as a starter, but it's not looking good, man. 2-5. We got him in second MVP. Contracts, Grady Jarrett definitely deserves a new contract. Calvin Ridley also deserves a new contract. Now, here's where we have to make tough decisions. Sheffield has been solid, and that is a reasonable deal. We'll keep him here till he's 30 if possible. McGarry, let's be honest, that's replaceable, to be honest with you. Yeah, we got some tougher decisions to make at the other end. Davidson can go. Hurst has been solid. He's 29. It's just too old. So we'll definitely come back to the table for Grady Jarrett, but yeah. And at the end of year 3, I did give the final 3 games to the new guy, the new quarterback Poole, and he actually in week 17, he got a player of the week, 4 touchdowns. So maybe it's a sign of good things coming forth. Does it have a dev trait? Do we have a dev trait? Superstar! It's a star! Okay. Ooh, we got a superstar on the O-line, though. Brent Tanner. He was like our 4th round pick. Ooh. Oh, no. Can we move one of you guys to tackle? They're too short for tackle. Can Lindstrom go to tackle? They're all too short because McGarry's going to be bound. Okay, we're going to have to put one of these two. We'll go small at tackle. We'll move Trapp to right tackle just for the future. That's really small. But, I mean, if Isaiah Wynn can do it, right? And then, we definitely got to get Tanner out there. Either way, it was not good. Not a good year at all. Last 3 wins. Matt Ryan fell off. To defend his MVP title was not, I mean, it's not brutal numbers, but the interceptions were definitely up. And Poole in 3 games, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Yes, sir. Gurley had an okay year. Julio had an okay year. Defensively, Deion Jones, a lot of tackles. Patrick Queen, a lot of tackles. We had Robert Quinn, just kind of like, you know, obviously that's a computer signing to fill the depth chart. He led the team in sacks. That's not ideal. Grady Jarrett actually hit us with the I want to play for a new team next year. So we kind of need to decide if we want to franchise tag him or not. Josh Jackson, our lone free agency signing, led the team with 4 interceptions. So that's money well spent. Yearly awards, MVP went to Deshaun Watson. I mean, we're not going to have anybody. Maybe offense. Hey, he's runner-up. Only played 3 games and coming in 2nd place for Offensive Rookie of the Year. For these ones we don't. I mean, this is it for Matt Ryan. We might as well see career-wise where he's at. 64,000 passing yards, almost 65. 443 and 185 interceptions. For how that looks on the records for a career. 5th all-time in yards. In touchdowns, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all-time in total tutties. I mean, one hell of a career. One hell of a career. Hall of Famer. Matt Ryan, 2 MVPs. But as we go into year 4, we got to move on. We got to go with, it's the Tim Poole or whatever his name is. Jim Poole. John Poole. Jason Poole. It's the Jason Poole era. So we're in the off season. I went to, like, I'll be like, oh man, would it be nice if Matt Ryan retired and then we'd have that money off the books? I was like, okay, let's click it up. Oh, nah, man, look how bad it is. He's a 6'7". And then I went, where's Julio Jones? You know? That's a surprise. What was he, 31, 32? And he's gone. Julio Jones is gone. Oh. Why? I mean, Patrick Queen went up a depth trade. That's cool. But Julio's gone? Julio's, I mean, it makes so much easier. We can't lose all these stars. We'll franchise tag Grady Jarrett. But Julio's gone? 3 years and you're done? Also, we can free up almost $20 million moving on from Matt Ryan. So I'm going to do so. Thank you for your service, good sir. Enjoy the Hall of Fame call whenever it happens. Actually, I have a little bit more money in free agency. My first get is going to be Rashawn Gary, or at least we're going to try to. There's a lot of bids on him. He can actually he fits our right outside linebacker. We want a power rusher, but also I think I can put him on the D line. We're going to pull the quarterback. We're good at running back. Wide receiver, I've signed N'Keal Harry, I think, twice. So I just don't want to repeat it, even though we desperately need to find someone that can replace Julio Jones. I'm not seeing it really outside of N'Keal Harry. I'm thinking we're going to have to. Surprise retirement. We weren't prepared for this. We're not going to overbid. Let's give him something like that, a 4-year deal. Tied. Maybe we'll bump it up a little bit. We'll give him 7.2 and $3 million even. Should give us a little bit of an edge. But, they're competitive bids for both of our players. Given how things have gone, and I've seen go in free agency, wouldn't be surprised if we miss out on both, but hopefully we at least get one. Hey, we got N'Keal Harry. No pressure. Just replace Julio Jones. Okay, so entering year 4, we have our franchise quarterback. We had the #1 overall pick, and we did very well for most of this draft. Really outside of 2 picks. One, we desperately needed a tight end, and it was a whiff. And the one, this guy here, not always going with the strength on the tackles works. But the rest of the draft, 70s out the wazoo. O-line has been built up. We got a 71 D tackle. We got a 70 D tackle. But our big 2 picks here, #1 overall, we got Terrell Savage, 77 hidden dev. He was #3 in true talent. Scheme fit edge rusher out of Cincinnati. Really, really good. Hopefully he's, the next Trent Cole. Beast, going to be a day 1 starter. And then, because, you look at the left tackle spot, or, either tackle spot, really, because we moved a guard in, but more so Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews getting out there in age, I wanted a tackle. And we got Deontay Garrison, 79 hidden dev, #1 in true talent. Sucks that he's not a scheme fit, but when you're this damn good, it's not that big of a problem. Worried about the tight end spot? Not so much. We drafted Jake Matthews' replacement. We found one of the 3 teams that had the salary cap to take on his $16 million deal, and they actually also had Albert Okwuegbunam on the trade block. So just like that, the Falcons have their new franchise tight end. So here we go, year 4. We got ourselves our safety net here for our brand new quarterback in pool. We got Albert O. We also have Jordan Reed. Offensive line, Garrison. We got Tanner, the superstar dev. New right tackle and trap. N'Keal Harry trying his best to replace Julio Jones. Good luck, sir. Defensively, not a lot of changes. Outside of Savage, the #1 overall pick. Got to be lining up him and Dante Fowler, hopefully pinning their ears back again after the quarterback. We're going to actually move Clinton back to starting right outside linebacker. It's looking good, man. It's looking good. This is definitely a team that can compete. And it's all about Poole, man. He looked real good. 3 games last year. 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 pick. Let's keep that going. We were 5-1. We've lost 3 in a row. We go fall to 5-4. Second place in the South. Actually, let's send this one. A huge game against Carolina. Need to win this to try to tilt the division. And we lose our, I think it's 4th in a row. That could... Yeah, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0, and then there we go, 0-5, phenomenal. Glad that the world's balanced itself. Contracts. Alberto just traded for him. Don't want to let him walk. 4-year deal, very reasonable. Leave a whole lot of salary cap, so we can pretty much sign anybody we want. Grady Jarrett, 1-year deal. Thank you very much. Get off that franchise tag. Deion Jones, 4-year deal, absolutely. Come back for him. Lindstrom definitely earned himself a new contract as a very talented guard. Todd Gurley, that's run him to the ground. He's yet to disappoint in any of the years. Cushenberry, get himself a new deal. We'll give him 5-year. He wants more money, of course he does. Van Jefferson, I'll keep you to your 29. He wants more money, of course you do. What about the best damn punter in the league? Can we keep you for 5 years? You want more money. Course you do. Okay, in terms of guys I'm not going to resign, I'm not going to resign Fowler, and that's it. Come on. Week 17 had a chance to win the division. Maybe not. Maybe stay in the playoffs, though. We would have been, 9-7. The Panthers had a tie there. Well, it was a guy, you know, it is what it is. See what our dev traits were. We had 2 hidden devs. Our tackle, Garrison, from Florida, Dan Quinn bias. It's not more C4 bias, Dan Quinn bias. 82 star. We also had a D-end. Garcia star. Can't buy a superstar. We used that up on getting Swift. Let's look at the stats here in year 4. Wash of a year. Still through 4 years, we only have 1 divisional title to our name. Pool's a beast. I mean, that should be a dev trait. We should be able to knock him up to superstar with that year. What is he? 1st in yards, 8th in touchdowns. Did not. I mean, we need to group them in. The Falcons, I guess, apparently are getting grouped in with the Patriots, with the Saints, with the Bears for like just any quarterback, it feels like, will excel in this scheme outside of Matt Ryan last year. Todd Gurley, still really dominant, but very consistent. Receiving, Calvin Ridley stepped up big time. N'Keal Harry didn't really live up to the billing of Julio Jones' replace. Not a bad year, though. Van Jefferson, solid year. Albert O, that's actually like probably the best move we made was getting Albert O for Jake Matthews. That's a sensational year from tight end. That's not a bad year from Ridley either. Helps the loss of Julio Jones, but we didn't replace him. A lot of tackles there. Queen and Jones, as you know, familiar suspects. 11 sacks Fowler, 9 for Grady Jarrett, 6 for Savage. A couple picks there. Just an average year. 3rd offense. Kyler Murray's your MVP. Jason Poole coming in at number 6. In the NFC Office Player, he went to Kyler Murray. Poole coming in at 5, shaving off a spot. Defense Player, he went to Roquan Smith. Olukun going on and doing big things for divisional rival Carolina Panthers. That's annoying to see. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Russell. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Savage, coming in at number 2. Quarterback, I don't think for individual awards, we're probably not going to have anyone outside of the kicker. Let's go, Young Hoku. Beautiful. All right, year 5, not Super Bowl or bust time because we still got 6 more seasons left, but would love to go on a deep playoff run and start to get a true feel for how Poole here, Jason Poole, is going to replace Matt Ryan. Peek into free agency here. We actually had a lot of money to spend, so we're going to spend it. KJ Hamler, I'm not going to overpay because we did just bring in N'Keal Harry, and we have 3 solid wide receivers between Harry, Ridley, and Van Jefferson, but he is a superstar dev. And it's, you know, it's not an outrageous amount of money, so we'll come in over Miami. And Epineza, AJ Epineza, man, I thought Atlanta would draft in the real draft. We need an edge rusher as Dante Fowler's hit free agency. We'll round it up just a little bit. Maybe we can improve our points. Either way, that's 7 points. Desperately need them. That'd be a huge get for the defense. Also coming in with a superstar dev. Brutal. We got Hamler. We didn't get Epineza, and I just bought the D-line free agency influence. And we're 7 points higher. Unreal. Final draft of part 1 of the Falcons rebuild. It was not a particularly great draft. I simmed it out. The computer got me a 66 and a 68 D tackle. My picks weren't much better. 70 corner. I mean, there's some upside here. We needed an edge rusher bad after he whiffed on Epineza, and he's a 73. No, I mean, it's not bad. He's a scheme fit. Obviously, with no dev trait there. There were other players available. Really, it came down to him, and there was a safety. So where do we pick him? We got him there. And then the next pick was, I mean, I did see the D tackles there, but where's the safety? Ah, here we go. Yeah, he's going to be good. Teague. Don't have a dev. Don't have it, and he has a dev. This one, it was, you know, just maybe more so because he's 6'4", 200 pounds to plan for life beyond. Keanu O'Neal, who's 30. And Teague, this is the only other guy who's going to make a pick. Comes out. He's only a star. Okay? It's not that bad of a loss. Would have loved to get, you know, an edge rusher like this. An 80 overall. I guarantee he's a star dev. Oh, he's superstar. Okay, look at the franchise edge rusher there. Would have been nice to suck enough to get one of the guys in the top 5 picks. But, you know, it is what it is. Year 5 for the Atlanta Falcons. We're back up to a dominant team. 88 overall. Look at the scheme here. We got a superstar and an X factor waiting to happen in Jason Poole, who got his dev trade based upon his performance last season. KJ Hamler coming in free agency. He's actually we're going to put him in the slot with Ridley and N'Keal Harry on the outside. Even Van Jefferson could be a useful trade piece, but really what for? I mean, we can go check the edge rushers in a minute. Offensive line's on point. Albert O's solid. Defense, We got the devs. The linebackers are good. The safeties are good. The corners are solid. We got Grady Jarrett and Savage. But we could debatably use a D-tackle. I mean, it's not common to give up on your first-round pick. It's just not what we're looking for. Let's just see. See if there's who's available, anyways, at edge rusher. We got Minshew at quarterback. Don't care. So are you an edge rusher? Not really. You're a straight-up linebacker, which is weird because you're there with a 3-4 What are you? Leo Hanna. Run stuffer again. Not what we're looking for. No. Well, do you have a depth trait? No, you do not. And you're definitely not what we're looking for. And, okay, let's see what we got here. We got Alan Birmingham. Fake name. Al Herman. Fake name. They all sound like alias, but favors, though. 77. He's 25. Not a scheme fit at all. Interesting player for sure. But, I mean, we only have a wide receiver to trade. I mean, would they take... If they take Van Jefferson straight up, I mean, maybe. I highly doubt it. Ooh. All right, there we go. We flipped Van Jefferson for an upgraded defensive end, but likely that favors guys in a contract year. That's usually why they're so easy to trade. But, okay. We're at the midway point of year 5, and we're above 500. That's pretty good, but looks like with Carolina's 7-0 start, we're playing for a wild card spot if we have any chance of making the playoffs here. Contracts. This is where we got to get very smart with our money. Don't want to get too outrageous, so we'll kind of... I mean, Mumphrey, 78. His age is fine, so 3-year deal. Very, very reasonable depth. We'll even come back and negotiate a little bit more because he could emerge as a starter. Josh Jackson, he's looking for a 1-year deal. What about 3? How about 3? Favors who we just traded for. Again, that's bargain basement. We'll give you a 5-year deal. Thank you. Patrick Queen is emerging as an absolute all-star. So he earns himself money. Him and Deion Jones are beasts. Grady Jarrett, if he'll take the 1 year, we'll do it. If not, no worries. He does take it. So we'll come back to the table with Mumphrey. I think that's really good, affordable depth with upside to potentially develop into a starter. And that's great business. And we still have enough money that when we kick off part 2 of the Falcons rebuild, we could dip in free agency a little bit. That's a painful way to end the rebuild. At least part 1. We did get a win, but my God, man, it felt like every win was a loss. Every win was paired with a loss. 7-9, second place in the South. I mean, we're up to a 91 overall. I don't think we had any hidden devs, did we? We might have. I'll double check. We actually had a backup running back at a dev. But I mean, our O-line's unreal. Our skill position players are unreal. Yeah, what was going on, man? It felt like the defense was giving up like so many points. Favors looks dumb because Smith's only 1 point behind him now. Even though we got him on really, really affordable deal. What happened? What happened? Quarterback played very well. We were almost top 10 in offense, bottom defense. What? Above average in both categories, yet we're 7. I don't know. I don't know about that. Look at our stats pool: almost 4,200 yards, 35 touchdowns, 17 picks. More than acceptable numbers. Todd Gurley, he's getting old, but still goes off for 1,000. Receiving, no dominant receiver, but the group is really solid. Ridley, Hamler, Harry, and Alberto. Defensively, Queen and Deion Jones, a lot of tackles. We got not a lot of interceptions. Sacks by Grady Jarrett and Savage are fine. Love seeing that. Love just seeing the guy we traded Van Jefferson for do nothing. And then, I mean, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Yearly awards, Baker Mayfield's your MVP. I do not want to acknowledge the fact that Baker Mayfield was available for us to sign as a quarterback. One not too long ago. Patrick Queen coming in number 9, Defensive Player of the Year. Individual awards, nothing. It's weird. I don't know. Our offense is on point. Our defense is just not work. I mean, maybe I would say maybe we need like an X factor DB or something like that. But our safeties. This is still a really good secondary, top to bottom. This team should not be underperforming like this. It's just one of those. It's the roll of dice in Madden, and hopefully we can get a really, really good second half, a strong second half, because we are 91 overall, right? You get up I really feel like in a Madden sim, for the most part, you get up over 87, 88, you should be making the playoffs. But we're 91, and everything to play for in the second half. So I hope you guys did enjoy part 1, and we laid the groundwork for part 2 of the Madden 20 realistic rebuild of the Atlanta Falcons. We saw Matt Ryan go off. That was definitely the highlight so far of part 1. We saw Julio Jones surprisingly retire, just kind of destroying all of our offensive chemistry. We've seen Deion Jones and Patrick Queen emerge as one of the best, if not the best, linebacking tandem in the National Football League. So that does it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. We'll be back on Saturday with part 2 of this rebuild. And I'll catch you guys then. Peace out.